brothers, come and have a go.
Well, I'll try. My name is Alex. I'm from the Movement for Justice, and I just want to say one thing. We can talk about it's an absolute crime, and if we mobilise, we can win this and win their freedom. But the other point I want to say is there's something inspirational when you hear the statements of our two brothers in Malawi, and you hear the people who are here fleeing prosecution, fleeing prosecution and persecution in other countries. It's inspiring. It gives us strength that we're so strong around the world, and we are going to win that, not just for them too, but for LGBT people around the world. So I do think if we mobilise, fundamentally we can win this struggle for liberation. I'm with a number of other groups are organising a fighting racism and homophobia contingent on this year's London Pride on the 3rd of July. We're going to make sure that demonstration is protesting and demanding the freedom of our brothers in Malawi. So I want to encourage everyone to start to mobilise for that. Let's make that demonstration part of the history of our struggle, mobilising, support and demanding liberation. Thank you very much.
Uganda, Uganda! No, Malawi, Malawi! No, Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe! No, well, I don't know if the name Robert Mugabe makes sense to you, but for me, it's as nasty as a toilet paper, as far as I am concerned. Read the news this week and you will see what he has been doing. I will get there sometime. Let me hand over to my brother to say something. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, go on there.
Friends, first of all, I would like to thank very much Michael Nastari for organizing this protest and for inviting me to talk. I can tell you how proud I am to be talking here today, bringing the support of the Central London Humanist Group.
Thank you.
We support this rally, of course we do, because humanists always defend human rights. Central London Humanists is a group of over 600 friendly, free-thinking people of all ages who believe in living good lives without religion or superstition. We are affiliated to the British Humanist Association and share with them the goal of promoting humanism. And we do so organizing monthly events in Central London, from interesting talks to artistic performances, fundraising for charities and thought-provoking debates, and of course also social events, just to have fun together, because we believe that this world and this life are all we have, and we want to be happy here and now. Together with the Gay and Lesbian Humanist Association, 2 weeks ago we organized the London Kiss Scene and again as part of the great global Kiss Scene for the International Day Against Homophobia and Transphobia. Thanks. Together with over 50 cities in over 20 countries around the world, we gave a message that the right to love is a fundamental human right. We did so freely, joyfully, with a wonderful humanist choir singing lovely songs. But we did so to show our support for all those too many countries where a kiss scene would not be authorized, where equality is far to be achieved, where homosexuality and transsexuality are criminalized and punished by law. Like in Malawi, where our two heroes, Steven and Tiwonge, have been outrageously sentenced to 14 years of prison with hard labor. We cannot tolerate this inhuman treatment.
No way. No.
The Central London Humanists joined the protest in outright condemnation of this sentence. We call on the Malawian government to immediately release the couple, to recognize their rights as clearly written in the Malawian Constitution and in human rights law, and to ensure protection and freedom from discrimination for all persons living in Malawi. Indeed, homophobia is not a problem only in Malawi. Homophobia in the African continent is the result of many reasons, colonial laws for instance. But among these reasons, the power and the influence of religion is clearly one of the strongest. Homosexuality, says Pastor Mario Magnoso in Malawi, is against God's creation and is an evil act, since gays are possessed with demons. And demons, the devil, are mentioned also by the evangelist Pastor Stanley Ndovi. The Anglican Bishop of Uyo in Nigeria, Isaac Korama, has described homosexual as inhuman, insane, satanic, and not fit to live. There is no fooling ourselves about it. Religion is the culprit in most cases. Religion is powerful, as it brainwashes the minds and makes them blind to the evil that can be done in its name. Homophobia is being preached by most religions in Africa, but what about elsewhere? What about here in Europe? With Michael Nastari and other activists, we are organizing protests in the cities of the Western world with the full cooperation of the police, for which we are grateful. But the issue of gay rights has not been settled here in Europe either. If a British gay couple decided to live in Italy, for instance, they would have no rights, no protection. Every year in Italy, gay and transsexual people are killed, every year. And lesbian women are raped, every year. And the Vatican has been able to stop any law to protect from hate crimes. Of course, no protection from discrimination, no rights to same-sex marriage. This is not going to happen when religion is allowed to interfere with politics, with human rights. What about the UK? The Anglican Church is part of the political system of this country.
Absolutely.
The Anglican leaders based in Britain are not condemning the homophobia of the bishops in Africa, trying to be diplomatic. Diplomatic.
Diplomatic.
This strategy is not helping the victims of homophobia repression in Africa. The Anglican Church has got blood on their hands, and the same can be said for the Catholic Church. In fact, this kind of silent diplomacy is the same that the Vatican used at the time of the genocide of the Jews during Nazism. The then Pope refused to speak against Hitler. He was being diplomatic. While men and women and children were being killed. And the current Pope wants to make that Pope a saint of the Catholic Church. Shame on the Pope!
Shame on the Pope!
Shame on the Pope!
Shame on the Pope!
The Pope's last comments on homosexuality from Portugal were as outrageous as ever. There are people trying to get the Pope arrested because of his main role in the cover-up of unspeakable crimes against children. There is clear evidence that the Pope tried to protect the priests rather than the victims. There are reports from Ireland and elsewhere of systematic rapes of the most vulnerable in their care. And yet the Pope declares that abortion and same-sex marriage are some of today's most insidious and dangerous threats to the common good. This is outrageous and is not happening in one of the least developed countries of the world. This is happening in Europe. The United Kingdom is going to spend millions of pounds for the state visit of the Pope in September, and we need to make our voice heard and make it clear that it should not be honored with a state visit. The Pope and the Vatican are against human rights. They are and always have been on the side of the most oppressive powers, from which they have gained privileges and the immense wealth they possess. Religion should not have these privileges. Steven and Tiwonge have been sentenced to jail for unnatural acts. Across the world there are 76 countries in which people can be prosecuted because of their sexual orientation. Unsurprisingly, when the United Nations General Assembly issued a declaration on decriminalizing homosexuality in 2008, the Vatican refused to sign. We need to protest against the interference of the Vatican in the religion in Europe and against the state visit of the Pope in Britain, as well as fight against homophobia in Europe and worldwide. The good news is that our actions do make the difference. We can win. The intense...